Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindset Monday. I'm your coach, Dr. Erin, the creator of The Higher Life, where you take everything in your life higher. I'm really, really thrilled today to introduce you a very special guest, a friend, and I'll tell you all about her. But before we do, a couple announcements in The Higher Life. We just had the first Higher Life Academy call. You can join anytime. This is a year-long program. Think of it like a book club, but with master classes. So we have 15 epic master classes. We focus on one, sometimes two a month. We have a theme and we get together every month and we chat about, no, I'm not going live, Kara, it didn't work. And we chat all about the content, and then we open it up for live discussion and coaching. And so you can get coached by me every single month. It's $77 a month. It's over $7,000 in value with all those master classes. And at the end of the year, you will have this glorious, like, pile of beautiful masterclasses that you went through that transform your life. And you will say 2023 was the year that, like, there was life before that year and there's life after that year. Because what I did was I tried to incorporate everything that I could think of for you to create your higher life, to have world-class business, world-class relationships, world-class health, world-class spirituality, and put it all in one place. So it's this beautiful journey we go on. So you're all invited to that. Just let us know if you want the link for that. Of course, we have Ascente, which is my business, sales, and high performance mastermind, where we meet weekly. And then there's always one-on-one coaching. I have a couple openings for one-on-one coaching. And if you're a one-on-one client of mine, you get everything that I just shared. So that's what's new in the higher life, but we are going to dive right in. Let me introduce you to Andrea. I'm so excited. I met Andrea on a Facebook Live. She was saying things. I was saying things. She was using words. I was using words. Her words were like, I got to meet this woman. So words can convert to the most epic friendships and relationships in your life. So we're going to talk about using your words, but when you used your words, I knew I needed to get to know you. So Andrea Arledge is a conversion copywriter for coaches. She has an extensive background in health and wellness from her nursing career and years of study in emotional mastery and energy healing work. She is actually certifying me to become an energy healer and do all of that beautiful work and add that into my arsenal of ways that I can help people, which has been amazing. She's also a numerologist and brings a unique twist on how creativity and health go together. Conversion copywriting is her jam. We're going to talk all about it today, and you're going to love her Southern accent because it's absolutely adorable and charming. And I'm so happy you're here. Hi, Andrea.
Blushing. Blushing. What an introduction. Thank you, Erin. Thank you for
being here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love talking about this. So
okay, let's start here. How did you get into this? You're a nurse and energy healer, and then you're like, I'm going to become a copywriter. Well, how?
Well, this person that is always like a seeker, right? How can I be better? How can I do better? And one might say I chase perfection, and knowing that there is no such thing. That is a complete illusion. All right. So, but it's not, it's a healer for me. So after I left my nursing career, I was so completely burnt out. And I immediately, when I left, I knew that I was going to complete my holistic nutrition certification and do yoga teacher training. And I worked a lot with trauma therapists and helped them in all of their things, and was an energy worker, and was really ahead of my time in the nurse coaching field, which it is hot right now, right? It's like nurse coaches. But and I love writing for people that are more, how do I say this? Like more into like wellness and spirituality and emotional intelligence and things like that too, because those are all the things that I've studied and I've taught. So I knew that I sucked at my own copy, excuse my language. And so I decided to show up at my mentor, her name is Anna, and she was having this 3-day live series free, and I was like, okay, copywriting. It kept coming into my awareness, copywriting. And I knew that once again, I just completely stunk at writing my own copy. And so after that series, I was like, this is what I want to do.
Okay,
Because
how did you know you weren't great at it? How did you know that?
how did I know? Because nothing was converting.
Oh, okay. Got that. That wasn't a trick question, but that's a sure sign. Okay, you're like, I am doing content regularly and nothing's happening. Okay.
Well, it wasn't completely flat, but I didn't understand the principles of copywriting. And when I went to that free series, I was like, I have to know these things. And so I went with all intention of, I am going to just be better at writing my own copy. That was my intention. And the way God, the universe works, like, yeah, well, Andrea, I've got some different plans for you. And so I was like, this is where the intersection of healing and creativity, like that is the intersection for me, is conversion copywriting. Because ultimately, I think that everybody needs their creative outlet and doing like the work on themselves, the inner work, as their healer. So conversion copywriting is my healer. And now I get to go write other people's copy, and they're like, I see myself. I would have never written this for myself. I did not see myself in this way. And it's a win-win. And I love those scenarios. It's like, good for me. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I got to write it. And then I get to see the look on your face when I present it to you. And then we get to watch the numbers convert. So it's just all around. I just landed. I feel like I've really landed.
I know it. I can feel it. And it kind of, it's like, but of course, when I think of you and your skill set and your history of, like, your superpower is similar to mine in that we see people. Mm-hmm. And when you see people, you can then help them to be seen. So I almost view it like, I see you, you see you, and then we let the world see you. Really is this beautiful, like, and you can see in me things that I can't see because I have blind spots, or you might use words that I would never have used. My first hire was a marketer, and because I just knew, like, well, if I have something great to offer the world, but I don't know marketing, that better be my first hire. And I'll never forget at a Brendan Burchard event, someone said, if I want to 5 times my business, like, who should be my next hire? And he said, the person that can 5 times your income, because you can't 5 times you or your efforts. And so that's what copywriting is. It's marketing. It's using your words to connect and draw in your ideal clients. So let's set this question up like this. Okay. I come in love, everybody. I come in peace. And we need to know what we're not doing so well so that we can change things. Okay. So Andrea, what do you see us all doing on the internets with our copywriting that maybe we just don't know? We don't know better. And when we know better, we can do better. But where do you see one or two of the biggest places we're just missing the mark? And I want her to answer this because we're all spending time on our content and we know it's important and we want it to convert. And so what are we doing wrong and how can you help us?
Okay. So the number one thing that I see out there, and it was a Me Too moment, was the not being bold enough in your copy.
Ooh.
Not being bold enough in your copy.
Like, what do you mean?
Like claiming yourself, like claiming what you do. There's a lot of people that just don't claim it. I mean, they're like claiming it, but they're not being bold, like using bold words to really claim it. Right. So, and then people are just throwing out, there's so many things that I see. So I don't want to, I mean, I don't mean this to be like nitpicky, but we all need to think about this, I mean, these are the things. So people don't speak to results. They don't speak to benefits. All they're talking about is like features.
Yep.
And, this is so nuanced, and I don't want anybody to feel bad because you have to like know your people, and that takes market research, right? Now and let's just stop right there for a minute because I could go on and on about that, but I really want to explain what benefits are and features and results versus just talking about features, right? Like, hey, you get a private Facebook group. Well, that's all well and good. And what's in it for me? People are always wanting to know when they're reading anything, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? How can this help me? How can this help me? And if you're not grabbing their attention, even with a good hook, right? I want to find a better word for that, but to really,
it's a good word. I like it. You hook them in. I like it.
Right? Because our attention spans are going, they're zilch, like 9 seconds, I think at this point, maybe if that, right?
A little extra effort, I can get up to 11.
Some people may be 3, I don't know, but literally speaking to the results that you offer, right? And so instead of, again, just speaking about, hey, you get this private Facebook group, or hey, you get a pin with my name, my brand logo on it. I mean, it's and
okay, give me an example. So I have this lipstick,
okay,
and I'm a lipstick connoisseur, and I could share with you all of the features. It lasts 32 days when you use it twice a day. It doesn't have any toxins in it. It's vegan. But how would you sell me this particular lip gloss? How would you think about selling?
How would I think about it? I would think about the results. Like in 30 days, are your lips going to be more plump and full? Or are they not going to be, like chapped? I don't know the words that I would use exactly, but I would talk about like, what are the results that are going to happen? Am I going to feel more confident? Am I going to feel, and that's a very tricky word too, even when you're talking about conversion marketing or conversion copywriting, right? Because you have to be so concise. And people are just being really jargony, especially people in the health and wellness space or spirituality space.
Ooh, okay. So I can imagine you would have saved me a lot of time and money, because this is how it works. You need the market research to know what words your clients use, but you've got to get clients in order to get the market research, and you can't get clients until you know what words to use. And it's a circular problem, because now my copy is so fire because I've been listening for 6 years. I've been listening to what my clients say and using words that I never would have used because they're all using them. And they're like, ding, 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 you read my mind, Erin. How did you know? I'm like, well, I've been listening to you. So I would imagine we need you at the beginning when we don't have all those years of experience to get the experience, so that you can evoke and pull out of us the words that we need to use to resonate. It's like a lighthouse. I'm going to put on my light and you're going to resonate. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to have the resonance. Absolutely. Like that's the number one thing. That's why I love even the empathy-based marketing, because a lot of people.
What's that? You got to tell us. We don't know.
Well, here's where I'm going with this right now, is that a lot of people in the online transformational space, right? Like they are empathy. They are empaths. They are empathetic people. And so they're really scared to talk about pain points. And I am one of those people that I'm like, we need to highlight the pain points, but not just drive the knife in the heart, right? It's more of like, and speak to their desires, speak to the possibilities where you're going to pull them. So everybody has a different voice, different brand voice. But if you really like paint the picture of possibility for them, right? That to me is more empathy based. Mm-hmm. You still have to touch on the pain though, because people need to see like, oh, she can help me with this thing that's keeping me up all night. And
so they need to self-select, because I think people are always saying two things when they're looking at your stuff. Can this help me? And is it going to work? Like, is this for me? And is this going to work for me?
Mm-hmm. And so that's the thing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about like some of the coaches that put out there like 10K in 3 days, or what I'm talking about. Yes, you want to say, like, if you have numbers like that, oh, please put them in your copy and or in your headline, how you get the results. But at the same time, if you can't promise that, don't write that in your copy.
Oh my God, Garth Oaksel's on, and he's my husband, and we talk about this all the time. He's like nodding. He's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, people, that false scarcity, that bro marketing kind of thing, like marketing is changing.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it. I think so too. So bro marketing is what?
Do I need to, Nick? I'm kidding. It's the false scarcity. It's the fake marketing. Get this freebie now, or get this now, it'll be gone next week. And then you go log in and it's still there available to you. That's what I'm talking about like false scarcity and bro marketing. It's just, I think of Mad Men, that show Mad Men, and wasn't it Mad Men? Anyway, I don't know. I don't watch TV much, but I know I watched that show. Is about advertising and the way that they did things back then, right? So
it's
the hypeness is overplayed.
Like really led with masculine energy, which is pushing, like doing energy, versus the feminine energetics of being pulled and attracted in and receiving and thinking of becoming versus doing. So the masculine energy is like push, push, push. So it's not bad. It's just an energy that's no longer really aligning with the masses as much. Yes. Attract.
So well said. That was the perfect way to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So okay, that the first thing we're doing that we could improve on is focusing on what do our ideal clients desire, and showing them that our services can get them to that desired outcome. Yes. Not focus on so much of the features. I also truly believe not focusing on you as the thing that's the focus as much as them. Can you speak what you think about that?
So you're bringing up, okay. So whenever we're even creating content, like if we're creating like videos, because I love short form video. And so in that, like the TikTok thing, it's the point where, oh God, I just got so excited. I completely lost my.
I know we were talking about you versus I, like not you,
not
being the focus, but
right. Whenever you are going to, let's say, even, use your words to sell, writing or speaking, this is about you, right? Instead of being like, well, I or we, because that's where I used to get really tripped up sometimes too, and would make it about me. No, you want to make your reader the hero in this journey.
Boom. You are not the hero. They are the hero.
They are the hero. Literally, they are your why, Okay, this tip right here that we're dropping can make you a lot more money than what you're making. If you just change the word I to you, before you hit send on your content, just take a look, be like, is there any you in there? Like, and I looked back and I was like, oh, everything was about I. And then I learned people are like, well, that's great for you, Dr. Erin, but I kind of want to know what's in it for me. I don't like, and it made total sense to me. Yep.
I just didn't know,
Right. Yeah. You are the hero, right? I always think about that when I'm writing, because I like to write website copy that way, like making your reader the hero of your website's journey, because your website is like the hero's journey. That's how I like
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question. We haven't talked about this, but Ed Milet, I was in his mastermind Arete for a little while, and he said something. He said, we're all selling the same thing, and we're all selling happiness. He goes, look at a Happy Meal at McDonald's. They're selling happiness. He's like, what does happiness have to do with the cheeseburger? Nothing. Look at the thing that my Starbucks cup says, that first sip feeling. Okay. I'm not going to Starbucks because they have the best coffee. I'm going for the experience of happiness that I think it's going to give me. Okay. You're not selling the lipstick because it's the best on the planet. It's going to make me happy and confident when I see how it looks or whatever. Right. And so what do you think about, I love, like, if you really think about the human desire, the desire is simply to be happy, joyous, and free. Like we all just kind of just want to be happy. And so any thoughts about that and how we think about writing our copy to point our readers to say, I can help you achieve this happiness?
That's why I think like if you want to come from that angle, because you can come from many angles, is yes, that desire is like painting the picture. This is why I'm like bringing them higher. You're painting the picture of possibility for them. What if? Use that specifically in your copy. What if? What if? And then whatever you're promising, right?
And whatever you're promising, when it's what your clients want, they're just like, yes, please. Here's my credit card.
Take the money.
Yes.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. It's so good.
So ask yourself, like, if we're all selling happiness, am I making that connection? Because if you're out there selling hand cream, guess what? That's not a fun game to play. My hand cream's better than your hand cream. So you got to figure out
the angle, right? Like, how is that going to make you more happy? Right.
Okay.
I see. Yeah. I've not thought of it from that perspective. So I think that's
hadn't
great.
either. And I was like, that's fascinating. What trends are you seeing in content? So I've been hearing a bunch of people say, since we're so saturated, the market's so saturated and everyone's doing all this content all the time, what really is going to matter is content that's actually got some oomph behind it. And then you go on Gary Vee's podcast yesterday and he says we should be putting out 50 content pieces a day. And you're like, I think I'll move to an island and quit my business. So like what in the world, and what are you seeing, and what do you know is happening in the social media world regarding our content?
Well, content that converts, you think about a formula, and this is where you have to really own your superpower yourself, right? And really, one thing that is coming up immediately is that you need a strong CTA, a call to action, because ultimately people really do need to be told what to do. They do.
You guys, guess who sells the most? The people who sell the most. You got to tell them what to do.
And don't be scared to share your content and your offers every day, right? But I think, starting off with the formula of like the hook, right? Then you introduce yourself or how there's an indoctrination, right? And you're really painting that picture again of possibility for them. And I mean, there's a whole sequence here. You're offering them value. I think this is the trend I'm seeing, is that the more you lead with value, without overthinking it and without throwing everything but the kitchen sink at people, right? And then giving them a strong call to action and you tapping into your own uniqueness. Right. And coming up.
Okay. I love it. You have to see it so that they can see it. You have to see it and you have to allow them to see it.
You do. Y'all, tell them what to do. Yeah. That I know that as a coach myself, and like somebody that works with people within the shadow realm, like, I don't see me. Until you see you, nobody else is going to see you.
That's why working with people like Andrea is life-changing, because you see me and then I can go and let other people see me. It's just,
it's always, we're always mirrors for each other. Awesome. Right. And so that you're going to be mirroring. And that's another thing to think about. You want to mirror your ideal clients. And this is where you can kind of, in conversion land anyway, we're always playing and we're looking at how, like playing with headlines. Did this convert? Oh, well, let me go try another headline. Did that convert? Let's go back to the other. You're always testing things out. Right. And I think it's the same way, like even with your content and finding the language of your client, and this is what I'm playing with right now. Just throw this out there and you can offer back your opinion about this too, because you are a great marketer, right? So this notion of like in the spiritual community or like transformational online space, whenever you start to, how I said jargony words, because I am so
Yeah.
Like I'm always just wanting to understand people. I love psychology and like understanding people. And so do we talk of that spiritual jargon because our ideal clients get it, right? Or are we, I see you shaking your head because I'm like, or are we clear over catchy? So they know, and I think it's clear over catchy.
Okay, I've heard it put like this. Does it survive the water cooler test? And what that means is, are people saying those words when they're at the water cooler? Are they saying, I just can't sleep at night because I just have to express my inner goddess? And no, they're not. Ever. No, they're like, I just want to get out of my own damn way. And you're like, you want to get out of your own damn way? I literally should be Dr. Erin, get out of your own damn way, psychologist. Like, the more people say, I would never use those words, but those are the words people are saying.
That's why you listen, right?
So you got to listen for their words, people, and start asking. You can do that in your copy. You can be like, what's the number one thing that if I wave a magic wand and solve for you in the next 6 months, like what in terms of blank, what would it be? And then they'll tell you and then use their words. Garth, you do not talk about your inner goddess in engineering meetings. Stop it. Oh my gosh.
I worked with an engineer / surgeon who was both. Oh boy. His brain was fire.
Fire. Yeah. Oh, fire. That's how we could describe it.
It was so interesting.
Oh my goodness. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is writer's block. So Seth Godin, the #1 marketing guru in all the land, Seth Godin, he goes, he's been writing a blog every single day of his life for 18 years. Okay. He's written a blog every day for 18 years. He goes, no one would ever say you have speaking block. You're not just not able to speak one day. He goes, your writing should be how you speak. And so you shouldn't get writer's block. And so can you tell us a little bit about how you view writer's block and how, when you see people that push through it, how have they pushed through it? What has changed for them?
Right. And so for me, it's really energetic. So, you know how we'll try not to use my jargony numerology speak, but literally it's like this energy of stuckness. Yes. Like you're saying, you have got to do something to shift that a lot of times. And so there's different ways for different people. Everybody's going to be really different around this. But even if you just start putting your pen to paper and start doodling, I've literally sat there doing like figure eights or gotten in the shower. We all know what happens in the shower.
We come up with great ideas.
Yes. or the hot tub. That is what works for me, or even taking a walk. And
so we contemplate,
activate my body. Yes. And moving my body. I'm not in my head so much. I start moving and that moves the energy. And then I'm like, oh my God, that was silly, Andrea. I have so much to say. Yeah. That's what's helped me most. But there's writing prompts. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do, but for me, it's getting back into my body so that I'm not out here, not present with myself and like focused and grounded in what I really want to write and what I really want to say. And I constantly take notes so I can refer back when I have a great idea, right? Because ideas, I always say, you all keep a copy bank or a word bank for yourself over in a Google Drive or your ideas bank. And because you're going to have them and you want to capture them somewhere. Right?
In my notes section, I have a section called Andrea.
What?
Oh yeah, I do. It's right there with Melanie Ann Lair. It's right there with, I know words you say that I don't want to forget. That's how there's, you're right there, right up. I know it's amazing. I know. I have one that says me too for all my great ideas.
You have great ideas. You are full of them.
It says me and my great ideas.
Shower.
Oh my God. Okay. So clearly if you are someone that is on social media growing a business, which is probably all of you, you need copy that converts. And so please tell us how can we work with you? Where can we find you? What do you got for us? Tell us all this.
Well, okay, so I'm sweating as I say this because I'm getting ready to launch my ritualist group. It's going to be a paid membership, and it's ritualist, WRIT, right? Because I think that we need to have these writing rituals, right? And a way to get into our bodies too somatically, so that we're moving dense energy, so we're not in our heads with writer's block. And so that I say, stay tuned for that. That's going to be launching soon. I'm literally writing the sales page and the funnel to do that. And so you can go to AndreaArledge.com or book a resonance call just to talk about it, because I take a very, very detailed view of getting into your brand voice. And then I am going to be offering some like done with you. Like I have one offer right now, done with you. Hey, let's write your sales page, which is a huge, if I had that, somebody just to go, I will write it with you, a conversion copywriter, dream. That would have been my dream.
You guys, it's not about writing a sales page. It's about the psychology of what's on that sales page. It's what Andrea does. And once you know how to do it, you could do it the rest of your life. Like, you know how to think about things, but it's not about fancy sales pages. It's about the psychology of selling with your words.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Andrea is an expert in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all psychology, using your words.
And
what else?
You would know. Absolutely. That I will say one last thing, and I don't want to, I'm like, do I leave this as a hanger? But you really need your unique selling proposition.
Yep.
Before you write anything, y'all, Southern accent. Yeah, y'all. Get your USP. What is unique about you, and own it.
Yep.
Own it.
You've got to differ. It's your marketplace differentiator. Why should you go with me? I know that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of other chapsticks out there. Why do you want my chapstick? There are thousands of spiritual coaches out there. Why should you go with me? It's not because Louis Vuitton can hold a chapstick better than the purse at Target. There's a reason why I want the Louis Vuitton. It's like, it's not to carry the chapstick. It's not the features of the bag. Yep. So you've got it. You've got to own that. If you don't know what that is, and your unique methodology of how you take people from where they are to where they want to go, if you don't know how to think about that, you need to hire someone like Andrea, because that is the foundation of everything.
It really is.
Spinning your wheels and spending all this time and saying 5 years from now, I just post all the time and nothing happens. Someone said that on our academy today, and God bless her. I understand the feeling. Like,
I know.
It's like, and then you nail it. Once you nail it, which I think I did about a year and a half ago, people are like, oh my gosh. But that took a lot of understanding what's uniquely special about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Everything shifted. And when I made it about you versus me. Yep.
That is huge right there.
Even when it was like, I knew you could do it. I just didn't know I could do it. And I needed to know that you could help me know how to do it for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Can you help me? I know, like, I love that you know how to write copy, but I want you to write copy for me that makes me tons of money and helps me work with my ideal clients. And I know that you can do that. And so that's, you guys, gold today. Did we get all the ways to work with you? What else did we?
I think so.
Okay.
For now, it's kind of like a stay tuned if you want to be in the ritual.
A question from Christina, and I'm not sure what she meant. So I asked if she would expand. So we'll see if she can, but doesn't people just want more sales usually? I'm not sure what she's meaning.
What I mean is that, like, you know how you say you have to know what your ideal audience wants? I mean, I'm just saying, generally speaking, don't people just want more sales or more money? Like, so, you know what I mean? So it would just be like an increase of income or something.
Only if that's what you're helping people do.
Yeah, that's what, right. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're, like if you were working like business to business, like that totally makes sense for what you're saying.
Or if you help people make money, like Louis Vuitton doesn't help people make money. And so Louis Vuitton is selling happiness in a different way, right? So if your job, Christina, is helping people make money, then yeah, that should be what you're talking about. But no, not everyone's job. I'm not hiring a lot of my healers so that they can help me make money. I'm hiring them so I can heal. I'm hiring my personal trainer to make me look hot, not to make money. You know what I mean? Like, so it kind of
well, and
depends.
you're picking up on like the things that people pay for. They pay for what? It's health, wealth, an inner transformation,
Happiness.
happiness,
But yes, they all just want, and money and sales just leads to people having more life, which means more happiness, you know? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I just was curious, like, so like my audience is primarily like lower income people, but I'm trying to sell higher ticket. Like if I have to position myself to attract those higher ticket people, the messaging and the positioning has to be more towards that audience. But I don't understand like how to transition that message from like that audience to a higher paying audience. Do you have any suggestion for something like that?
Yeah. And that's, well, I would need a lot of context about who you are. What do you offer? And, you know, because it sounds like you're shifting into like a whole new audience, right? So then we would have to set you up and find your USP, what makes you uniquely different to do this, right? So in your USP, that's your guiding light, right? And so if you write that first and you get that nailed with who your ideal client is, having that in mind, as you write whatever it is that you write, that's literally going to call them in, right? So getting clear who you serve, who is your ideal client, how you serve them, and what the specific results.
And you've got to figure out too, though, are your people going to pay? Dollars follow value. So money follows value. And if your audience doesn't value the thing you're selling, no matter how cheap you sell it at, they don't want it. No matter how much. And so I've heard it put this way, your pricing is your positioning. So if I am working with people that have never hired a coach before, it's going to be a much harder sell to say it's $20,000 to work with me versus it's $4,000. Okay. Now I don't work with people at the beginning stage of their journey. So part of like, I'm working with the people that are like, oh yeah, who's my next mentor going to be? And so there's a lot of things that go into pricing, because if your target audience, Christina, doesn't have the money, like literally doesn't have the money for the things that you're offering, that it's not your target. Like there's a mismatch there.
Yeah. It could, and they could maybe have the money, right? It's just you helping them shift their beliefs into what it is and showing them the value of what it is.
Right. It's either a value or I don't have them, or I don't want to pay for that because I don't value that, or like not everyone values their health. It's the weirdest thing. And so you can't convince people to spend money on their health. Not everyone values personal development. They just don't. And so, if I'm going to go and sell, transformational coaching to teenagers, I can't get in front of the teenagers who have no money. I got to get in front of their parents with the money. And so there's so many things that go into like, who's actually going to pay for these services, and are their dollars going to follow the value of that?
Yeah, exactly.
That was very helpful. You guys gave me a lot of food for thought. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Christina.
I know, because these are things that could take time, but if you're new coming out, like you had somebody in mind, right? When you started a business of who you wanted to help. Right.
Yeah,
So
yes. Well, basically I was just selling for myself online, and then everybody saw that I was very good at it and they just kept asking me for support. And so then I kind of made a low ticket offer to them. A lot of them jumped on it, but when I realized that I wanted to make it a higher priced offer, because I realized I way undervalued my price point, now they don't want to pay that higher price point. And then most of my actual coach told me, you need to like either start all over or just make it lower price point. But I was thinking maybe I could just attract a new type of ideal avatar with new messaging, but still stick with that audience.
Exactly. And help. I can hear loud and clearly. It's you helping them shift their beliefs that they actually have the money to pay for that, and at the same time, you're going to be calling in new people too that resonate resonate with what you're saying now. Does that make sense?
I felt that too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have to do. I have to shift the beliefs of the Walmart audience, and then I have to also,
yeah.
and then I also have to bring in more Gucci shoppers.
Yep. I was going to say, you're not for sale. We're not going the lowest price here. We're not playing that game, at least not people in my world. We're not for sale. We're not going to go for the lowest price wins.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, we're not.
And maybe it's you, Christina, because I mean, this is like our inner work too, y'all. It's like you have to own it too. It sounds like you already do. You're like, got this, right? So,
Well, you know, you guys, like when I look at you, Erin, and you, Aldridge, is you guys look upscale, fancy Gucci Chanel girls.
Oh, I
And
am.
And the thing is, like, I've been very lazy, you know, so I need to like up level my style because I
Yes.
just let myself go, you know.
At least from the neck up. All you gotta do is the neck up. Okay.
you're not lying, right?
Oh,
I mean,
Christina.
literally. But
Not lying.
Christina, you are speaking to something that you just hit the nail on the head, whether you know it or not, is that whenever you are speaking to somebody, let's say you're going live on Facebook or somewhere, right? Or you were making a video somewhere, people are like, they're going to identify or like, ooh, look at her because she's more put together, or because listen, this is not all the usual.
Especially if you're building a luxury brand.
Exactly. So you want to match that energy of what you're putting out.
Yeah, because Dr. Erin, she looks luxury, you know, like she looks.
Oh,
she looks
I'm
money.
I'm waiting for my checkbook to get the memo of how upscale I am.
You
Christina.
look money.
Oh, thank you. I am. Okay, so I'm going to leave it with this. You can't sell a dream looking like a nightmare, people. You can't. You can't. You got to dress the part that you want. Dress for the part that you want, not the price you have. Garth, are you chiming in?
Well, I was just going to say, sometimes lightning hits in a bottle because I showed up like a nightmare on our first date.
This is true. We can't explain that. So that's an outlier, honey. That's an outlier.
Yes, I know.
She loved your vibe, Garth.
I gave no vibe.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it. So I hope that this has helped somebody just starting to think about, even one thing I'll offer up to is 444 is like whenever you're emailing your people, talk to them like they're your friend too. Like you don't have to get into your head about, oh, what do I say?
So that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't get speaker's block. So write the way you speak.
It definitely.
One of the things that someone said, my editor said, when I wrote my book, Mind Your Own Business is what it's called. She goes, I've never read a writer's style like this, where I feel like I'm just in the room with you. And I'm like, I don't know how to write in a fancy way. I just know how to write using my voice. And so just own it. I had someone on a Facebook Live. We'll leave with this, Andrea. And not everyone's going to like your voice. This is what I want to say. So I had someone say years ago, a doctor is saying OMG, like why would she's way too educated to say that? And all of my people were like, oh no, she could say OMG. She could say whatever and like, we like it that she says OMG, you know? And so just be you, be you and use the words of your clients. Andrea, you dropped so much gold. I love you. You to serve the masses. If you want someone to see you so others can see you, to call in the clients and call in the money, she is your person. Thank you for being with us. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.